Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the show. We're back on the A1 Trading YouTube channel. And as we've been talking on my previous stream on my channel, we've been talking all about this crazy market that is going on. Things are really, really volatile right now. Great atmosphere for day traders and swing traders if you're able to manage your risk and keep things tight. Today, I've got a special guest coming on to the stream. We're going to hear from him. We're going to hear a little bit of his trading setups and ideas that are going on. We've got James. James, what's going on? We'll go ahead and bring you in here. How are you doing, man?
Hi, Nick. I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for coming on the show. I'm glad that you're here.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
James, tell the audience a little bit about yourself. What's your trading background? Are you a day trader? What kind of stuff do you get into?
So I'm very much like you, actually. I swing trade. I've been trading for about 7 years now. Started trading stocks with about £100 account. And then, started to take it a bit more seriously once, left education, all that type of thing. But yeah, swing trades, mainly like USD, GBP, JPY type of pairs.
Very cool.
Yeah, at the minute, struggling a little bit to find predictable setups. I'm sure you understand that.
Right now, are you so in your approach? Are you mostly a fundamental trader, technical trader, a mix, purely technical? What's your take on how you kind of approach the market? And then we'll jump into maybe some charts and ideas that you're looking at.
Sure. So mainly fundamentals. I'd say 80% fundamentals, 20% technicals. Obviously, technicals just to find the entries, but then fundamentals to find the direction. I was actually mentored by Alex. I think you had him on a couple of days ago. Do you remember Alex? Yeah.
Yes. Yep. Alex. He was a great guest. I loved having him on. He was a very smart guy. So I'm now we can put him to test. We can see how well he did with you. So James. So if we want to pull up your chart, Chandler can bring that in.
Sure.
Tell us what we're looking at. What's kind of your thoughts right now, fundamentally, technically? What are some charts that you're looking at?
Sure. So this is USD CHF. So let me just go down. So we actually entered an intraday trade. I think it was towards the end of last week, securing about 4%. And this was mainly when, the Russia and Ukraine conflict was starting to escalate. It was a lot of sort of skepticism and he said, she said situation. And then we got a bit more news that the Russian forces were entering, surrounding borders and things in Ukraine. So we entered a short position on there. And then I'm looking actually for another short position, basically just because of Russia and Ukraine. Nothing against the dollar. I'm still bullish on the dollar. And this is one of the reasons I messaged you actually, is because some of the things you say, they're very similar to what I think and the way I trade.
Sure.
But yeah, on this, I'm more just going on to the CHF, safe haven type of trade, rather than being bearish against the dollar. So this is a trade, wouldn't really set a sell limit for this. It would be more just a market execute if we see, the DXY behaving as I would hope so.
Sure.
And yeah, CHF being, investors entering CHF as a safe haven again.
Sure. So you've been focused on have you been looking at any other CHF pairs? And just for the audience, I guess too, why CHF? You mentioned, of course, risk off. What's your focus on that and interest in being long CHF?
Yeah, so I mean, it is mainly just because CHF is a big safe haven. I'm also looking at CAD because obviously we know that Russia is a huge exporter of commodities, oil mainly. So obviously we know that, CAD and oil is sort of related. So yeah, looking to sort of long CAD. So if we go and look at the oil, 1 second. Yeah, we see oil's on a huge sort of, uptrend here. So yeah, long oil, long CAD, long JPY, long CHF, pretty much what you've been saying in your streams. It's all sort of just long in the safe havens.
Sure.
But yeah, looking to go short GBP CHF. We can see obviously there's sort of a resistance here, the double top. So, this is where sort of the technical analysis comes in for the entry. And then, using the fundamentals to actually get the direction. But the Russia-Ukraine situation is very tricky to trade at the moment. It keeps becoming, the forces are here, but Putin's saying there's nothing happening.
Right.
So it's until something actually happens for definite. I won't be taking any swing trades. I'll be sticking to more scalps on a smaller account and day trades.
Sure. Yeah. And that's the thing, right? So my take on this, and you may agree, you may have your own take on this, but my approach to the whole Russia-Ukraine situation is I am just blanket statement, risk off oriented, as you kind of mentioned too, looking at those higher or those safe haven currencies and just saying, you know, until this blows over, I'm just going to have a lean towards those safer assets to invest in. Because the thing is,
Mm.
when you're touching GBP, you know, Aussie, things like that, they can very quickly on any news just dump because they, you know, and vice versa. If you were to short those things in favor of the risk havens, you may be able to capture a dump, which can be, of course, a very great way to capture some great risk reward very, very quickly. Do you have any trades that you are currently in right now, James, or are you on the sidelines? What's your thoughts there?
We actually just got stopped out of a trade this morning on CAD JPY. So we were looking to go short roughly here. This wasn't actually my trade. It was one of the team members' trades. But yeah, we were looking for sort of the classic break and retest. So we entered, I think we entered roughly here with a very, very tight stop. Obviously, we don't want to get caught in a trap where news does happen and then we're stuck in, 100 pip stop loss trade.
Sure.
So we like to be, just very quick in and out at the moment. But yeah, we were stopped out of that pretty quickly for a 1% loss. So currently no trades open. Yeah, we're just taking things very, very slowly at the moment because it's, like I said, it can be very sporadic depending on who comes out and says what. Putin could just say, we're removing everything, we're not going to invade, and then,
Sure.
it could happen, and then markets would go everywhere.
Right. James,
So,
I got
yeah.
another question for you. What about the euro? Do you have a take on the euro? I've been pretty bearish on it personally, or are you just staying away from euro pairs? What's your take on the euro?
Currently, not really many thoughts on euro. I mean, the energy crisis isn't great, so I'm not really bullish. But then again, I'm not really bearish on the euro. Pretty neutral at the moment. I was actually looking to go long EU or USD, but we are just stuck in this sort of, I wouldn't really call it a range, but we're just stuck in this sort of sideways movement despite this movement in sort of the end of January. But yeah, there's nothing really lining up for me on the euro, either technically or fundamentally, really.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I mean, like you've repeated this many times, but if the Fed come through and start fixing inflation rates and all this type of thing, then yeah, I'll probably look for longs. But for now, there's no trade there for me.
Sure. Okay. And then James, one more for you is what's your take on gold? Because of course gold falls under that risk off asset. You have any thoughts going forward? Are you looking for any trades, or what's your thoughts here?
Sure. So yeah, very, very long gold, especially if this war happens. I mean, as we know, investors go to gold. So my first stop on gold would be sort of the 2000 range. I would first be looking for around the 2000, and then that's if things are drastically bad. And then if it just continues, then I'll probably either extend to take profit or add a secondary position to the 2050 level. Where we sort of previously were in August. But again, at the moment, there's just not much there for me. We're at this level. I mean, you took a really nice long position that I was looking at, but personally wasn't in my rules to actually enter that trade.
Honestly, when I took it, it was a bit aggressive, and I knew it was aggressive. That's why I put my stop loss really tight on that, because the thing with it, right, is I was like, okay, you know what? This thing is either going to just explode off of this level, or it's just gonna, it was pretty decisive. It was either gonna explode higher or it was gonna collapse. So I put a tight stop on it. I was like, okay, you know what? I'll risk small. If it collapses, whatever. But I think there's a good chance that if things continue to be scary, that gold could continue to rocket higher. And it did. I'm not going to claim that that's every trade I take by any means, but it's nice when it works out. And until further notice, I'm kind of with you. Gold bullish bias. And that's a bit of a tone change for me recently. I was not super bullish about a month ago or anything like that, but just with the recent development, and this developed real fast, things progressed very quickly. Gold, I can't see myself shorting it for the time being.
Yeah, so, no, I'm exactly the same. There was the heavy factor of the Fed possibly fixing the state they're in at the moment, which put me in a similar position where I was looking to short gold. But yeah, luckily didn't actually take action on that. But yeah, I'm definitely long at the moment.
Very cool. So James, in terms of approaching a move, let's say that you have a move go in your favor. Do you use strict take profits? Do you trail stops? Do you take partials? How would you, let's say that you get a pullback on gold, you're able to get an entry. How would you look to move out of a winning trade.
Okay, great. So let's pull up sort of an imaginary trade for now, and that way I can sort of show you. Okay, let's say we shorted here. So yeah, let's say for example's sake, we shorted this here and was just moving down and down in profit. So once we hit 1%, stop loss would be moved to break even, which is similar to, I know you sort of trail stops, don't you? And then yeah, once it sort of reaches 2 to 3% profit, as long as we're seeing continued either downwards or upwards momentum. So as we can see here, we had a lower high form. So once we saw this form and then continuation to the downside, that's when we would have moved stops to around this area here. Just to secure profits. So personally, I don't secure like 1 or 2% strictly. I'll just move it to the next place of structure.
Okay. Yeah, it sounds like we're very similar in that way too. I don't use like a strict pip count or percentage gain. Like I purely just go off of market structure and try and ride with it. But that's awesome. Yeah. So it's always interesting to hear people's different takes. Some people use partials, some people trail stops, some people only use a strict take profit. So it's always an interesting question to ask somebody.
Yeah. I think. Sorry, go on. No, I was just going to say, I think taking partials is fine, but yeah, personally, it's not for me. I like to just have one trade set and just let it run. And if it gets stopped out in profit, then, that's profit I wouldn't have had otherwise. And, take profits always great, but taking partials personally isn't for me.
Absolutely.
If you're looking for a broker upgrade, we have an amazing offer just for you. Thanks to our partnered broker Axie, you may qualify for a 30% deposit bonus when you sign up using our link in the description below. For example, for qualified clients, a deposit of $1,000 could receive a bonus of $300 in trading credits. They've partnered with us to provide traders with the tightest spreads, lowest trading costs, and a huge range of tradable assets. Markets like forex, commodities, and indices are all available for clients trading with Axie. Remember to use the link in the description to potentially qualify for the deposit bonus offered and to support what we do here at A1 Trading. Please note, this offer is only available to traders outside of the US. For US-based traders, consider checking out some of the other brokers listed in the description below.